No one knew where the ship came from. It was found floating near a dead star, far away from any known planet. It did not move. It did not send signals. It was cold, dark, and silent, like a grave in space. The alien scientists called it the ghost ship. It was massive, bigger than any ship they had ever seen. Black metal covered its body. Strange marks ran across its sides. Some looked like human language, but others were unknown. The Alien Science Council held a meeting. Many warned, don't go near it. This is a human warship. They were dangerous, violent. Their war machines were not like ours. But Dr. Killer, the lead scientist, stood up and said, that was hundreds of years ago. Humans disappeared long ago. We are scientists. We must learn the truth. After much debate, the council agreed to send a small team. 5 scientists, led by Dr. Killer, would go. They were told to be careful, to scan, record, and return. But they never expected what they found. The small alien ship moved slowly toward the warship. Its lights shined on the dark metal surface. The warship did not react. It just floated like a dead thing. As they got closer, one scientist whispered, I feel something, like the ship is watching us. Keeler replied, don't let fear control your mind. It's just a machine. They docked. A door opened with a loud hiss. Cold air rushed out, air that had not moved in centuries. The inside of the ship was dark. Their lights showed long, empty hallways. Wires hung from the ceiling. Walls were scratched. Some looked burned. Strange symbols were everywhere. One scientist pointed at them and said, these are warnings, in human language. Another scientist laughed nervously. Maybe they were scared of their own ship. They walked deeper into the ship. No bodies, no blood, but something was wrong. The silence felt heavy, like it was pressing on their heads. Then they found the control room. Broken chairs, cracked screens, but one screen suddenly flickered. It showed a short video. Humans in black armor, fighting strange alien creatures. Guns fired. Screams echoed. Fire. Explosions. Then the video cut off. One scientist backed away. This ship, it remembers. Another said, why is it still recording? Suddenly, the lights turned on, just for 1 second, then off again. But in that second, something moved in the corner of the room. They turned. Nothing was there. One scientist, a young one named Rovo, said, did you see that? Keeler shook his head. We stay calm. Let's keep recording. They moved to the next room. The door shut behind them, by itself. Rovo screamed, the ship is alive. We need to leave. But Keeler ordered, stay together. It could be old systems, just automatic. But then, one scientist vanished, right in front of them. No sound, no light, just gone. Panic. They ran back to the hallway, calling his name. Only silence answered. Then, another one disappeared. Gone. Killer's breathing was fast. His voice shook as he spoke into the recorder. This is Dr. Killer. We made a mistake. This ship is not dead. It's awake, and it is angry. Rovo cried, we need to get out. Now. They ran back to the docking door, but it was locked. They pounded on it, screamed. Nothing happened. Keeler turned and saw a shape, tall, human-like, but made of smoke and light, standing at the end of the hallway. Then darkness. Only one escape pod launched from the warship. It floated silently through space. Inside was one alien. Rovo. He did not speak. He did not blink. He just stared ahead, shaking. When the pod was found by a rescue ship, the crew asked him, where are the others? What happened? He whispered only one thing. The ship remembers. Rovo sat in a clean white room. Alien doctors checked his body. Machines scanned his brain. They found no wounds, no sickness, But still, something was wrong. He didn't speak. He didn't move much. His eyes stared at nothing. He had been missing for 5 days. Then, suddenly, he returned, alone. Where was the rest of the team? The council gathered around a large screen. They watched the rescue video. They saw Rovo in the escape pod, pale, silent, scared. The lead counselor, Jaren, spoke calmly. Rovo, we know you have been through something terrible, but we need answers. Please tell us what happened on the human ship. Rovo slowly turned his head. He opened his mouth and whispered. It was not a ship. It was a mind. It was waiting. The room went silent. Flashback begins. Rovo's memory. Rovo remembered the moment the others vanished. He had never screamed like that before. The lights were gone. The air was cold. He was running alone now. He didn't know how he escaped. Something opened a door for him. Something wanted him to leave. He remembered a voice. It wasn't loud. It wasn't in his ears. It was inside his head. You are not a warrior. You are not a threat. Go, speak. Rovo didn't understand. He thought he was going to die. But the ship let him go. Or maybe it sent him. Back in the present, Rovo sat with Jaren and the other council members. He told them everything. The strange energy, the ancient human video, the missing scientists, the shadow figure made of light. But one detail made everyone pause. Rovo said, the ship was not just remembering. It was choosing, testing us, studying us. Counselor Jaren asked, what did it want? Rovo's eyes filled with fear. It wanted to see if we were like them. If we were like the humans. It looked into our minds. Another council member stood up, angry. This is nonsense. Machines cannot read minds. But Rovo simply replied, this one can. The debate. The room was full of noise. Some wanted to destroy the warship. Others wanted to send another team. Some said to leave it alone forever. But Jaren was thoughtful. If this warship is alive, it could hold secrets, technology, power. The humans were lost. But maybe they left behind more than just metal. Rovo shook his head slowly. You are making the same mistake we made. But no one listened. The ending cliffhanger. Suspense. Late that night, Counselor Jaren stood alone in his chamber. He watched the warship on a large screen. It still floated, dark and silent. No power, no movement. He whispered to himself, what are you, really? Then his screen glitched. For just 1 second, less than a heartbeat, he saw a human face. A man, in black armor, looking straight at him. Then it was gone. Jaren stepped back, shocked. His heart beat faster. The warship still floated near the dead star. No lights, no sound. But something had changed. Inside the ship, deep in its dark halls, old systems were waking up. Faint pulses of red light blinked in the silence. Metal creaked. The warship was remembering. Back on the alien homeworld. Counselor Jaren couldn't sleep. He kept seeing the face on his screen. A human face. It looked real. Alive. Angry. He didn't tell the others. Not yet. Instead, he called for a secret meeting. Only 4 people were there, all trusted members of the Science Council. We will send a second team, Jaren said, but this time, not scientists. We send warriors and machines. One general spoke up. You want to attack it? Jaren shook his head. No, I want to understand it, with strength beside us. If we go again, we must be ready for anything. A new team forms. The next day, a new ship was prepared. This time, it was stronger, heavily armed, with 2 AI drones, 5 soldiers, and 1 scientist, a young female named Tia. Tia had studied human history for years. She believed humans were not monsters, but something more. She met Jaren before leaving. "Why me?" she asked. Zeron replied, "Because you still believe in peace. I need someone like that on the ship." Journey to the warship. Taya and her team flew through deep space. As they neared the warship, silence filled the cabin. The soldiers loaded their weapons. The AI drones scanned the ship. "Still no movement," one said. "Still cold. No signals." They docked at the same place as the first team. The door opened with a hiss. Taya stepped inside first. "Remember," she said softly, "this is not just metal. It has memory." Inside the ship, again. The halls looked the same. Dark, cold, empty. But this time, the lights turned on by themselves. Red lights. One soldier raised his gun. "It's watching us." Another replied, "Good, let it watch. Let it see we're ready." They walked deeper. They passed old bloodstains, alien blood, not human. Taya touched the wall. It was warm. "It's awake." They reached the core room. This room was different. It had no doors, only symbols, glowing blue on the floor. Suddenly, the door behind them closed. Locked. The AI drones shut down. The air became heavy. Then, a voice echoed in the room. Not through speakers, inside their minds. "You returned." The soldiers looked around, weapons raised. Taya stepped forward. "We don't want war. We want answers." The voice replied, "You are not ready. Not yet. But you ask. That is the first step." Then the blue symbols on the floor rose into the air, like glowing smoke. They showed pictures. Humans fighting monsters larger than cities. Human ships destroying whole moons. And then, silence. The humans were gone. "Where did they go?" Taya whispered. The voice replied, "They chose silence. After the final war, they left the galaxy. But they left us to remember." A warning from the past. The ship showed one last image. An alien fleet, just like theirs, burning. Destroyed by the same warship they stood in now. The voice said, "They came with fear, they left with nothing." The lights turned off. The door behind them opened. "Leave now, or choose their path." Taya's voice shook. "Will you destroy us too?" Silence. Then, not yet. The ending scene. The team returned to their ship. Taya recorded a message for the council. The warship is not a weapon. It is a warning. It holds the memory of the past. If we do not learn, we will suffer the same. Back on the warship, deep inside, a single human face appeared on a screen again. This time, it smiled. The council chamber was silent. Everyone had just watched Taya's report. The warship was not only a machine. It was a memory, a message, maybe even a mind. It had warned them. It had chosen to let them go. But no one knew why. Some were afraid. Some wanted to study the ship more. And others wanted to destroy it before it was too late. Counselor Jaren stood and spoke slowly. "If the humans left something behind, something alive, we must understand it, before someone else finds it first." Back on the alien research base, Taya was recovering from the mission. She sat in a quiet room, watching the images from the warship again and again. Monsters, fire, planets falling. And then, the silence. She spoke softly to herself. Why did they leave? Why did they make the ship remember all this? Then her tablet beeped. A message. From the warship. It was just one word. Return. The third mission. This time, no soldiers. Only Taya. The council refused to send help, so she went alone. A small ship. A short journey. But in her heart, she felt the weight of something bigger than herself. As she docked with the human warship for the third time, she whispered, "I'm here. I came back." The door opened by itself. The halls were the same, but this time, lights turned on before she even moved. They were guiding her. the heart of the ship. The lights led Taya to a room no one had seen before. Large, cold, silent. In the center, a tall black pillar. It pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. A voice spoke again, not loud, but deep inside her mind. This is the archive. Tia walked forward, afraid but calm. What's in it? The voice replied. All of us. Our choices. Our pain. Our end. Suddenly, the room filled with images. She saw human soldiers crying beside fallen friends, scientists writing final words into data cores, children on ships looking up at burning stars, a final meeting, 7 human leaders standing in silence. One voice. We won, but at what cost? We leave now. Let history judge us. Taya's question. Taya felt her eyes fill with tears. These were not monsters. They were survivors, fighters, builders. She asked, "Why did you leave all of this here?" The voice replied, "Because someone would find it, and they would have to choose." "Choose what?" she whispered. "To repeat our story, or end it." The choice. The archive offered her something. Knowledge, weapons, maps to the lost human colonies, but also a warning. If your people take our fire, they may burn the galaxy again. Taya stood quietly. Then she said, "I will not take your weapons. Not yet. But I will take your story." Back on the alien world, Taya returned. This time, the warship did not hide. It sent a signal to the whole system. Just one line of text. Memory is the sharpest weapon. Jaran welcomed Taya back. She looked tired, changed. He asked, "What did you find?" She answered, "The truth, and it is heavy." Ending scene. In deep space, far from all stars, another ship received the warship's signal. A ship, not alien. A ship, human. Its systems turned on for the first time in centuries. A quiet voice whispered in the darkness. They found it. In deep space, a signal moved like a whisper through the stars. It passed ancient satellites, broken worlds, dead systems, until it reached something hidden. A fleet of ships, dark, silent, covered in dust, but not dead. Human ships. The signal from the warship reached their cores. One by one, they woke up. Lights blinked. Systems hummed. A single word flashed on every screen. Awaken. Taya's struggle. Back on the alien world, Taya stood before the council again. She shared everything. The archive, the human message, the warning. But now, many council members were afraid. One shouted, "We cannot allow a living human weapon to remain in our system." Another argued, "We must study it, use it before others do." Taya stepped forward. "If we only see the warship as a weapon, we've already failed. It gave me knowledge, not war. It offered us a choice." Jaren stood with her. "She's right. This isn't about power. It's about understanding what they became, and what we might become." Meanwhile, in deep space, the sleeping human fleet moved. Slowly, carefully. They were far from any known map. But now, they had direction. A voice spoke across their bridge systems. Calm, old, deep. They touched the memory. They are not ready, but they are watching. And others will follow. The hidden threat. Unknown to the council, another species had received the same signal. The Varnak, a warlike empire. For years, they searched for human technology. Now, they knew where it was. Their fleet began to move. Fast, hungry. Not for peace. For control. Taya's discovery. In the warship's archive, Taya unlocked one final message. A hidden file. Old. Protected. It played a recording of a human admiral. He stood with blood on his face, speaking to a small group. "If anyone finds this, know this. We chose silence not because we were weak, but because we were tired of being strong. If you seek to control what we left behind, be warned. You will wake up something you cannot put back to sleep. Taya's heart raced. The fleet. They're still out there. Council in chaos. Tia rushed into the next meeting. The warship wasn't alone. There's more. A fleet. And I think they're waking up. The council was shocked. One general stood. Then we must prepare for war. If the humans return, we must meet them with force. Tia slammed her hand on the table. They're not the threat. Geron looked at her. Then who is? She turned, eyes wide. Anyone else who finds them first. Last scene. The fleet moves. The human fleet began to align, not for attack, but for defense. Their AI minds spoke silently. Monitor. Wait. Do not strike, unless they repeat history. In the distance, Varnak ships entered the edge of the system. The humans saw them and prepared. The stars shimmered with silence. But deep in the void, war approached. The Varnak Empire, known for conquest and cruelty, had entered the system. They did not come to study the human warship. They came to take it. The first attack. Tia and Counselor Geron stood in the command tower of their homeworld. Alarms began to scream. Multiple ships entering orbit. An officer shouted, "Not ours. Varnak class." Tia's face turned cold. "They're here for the archive." Geron gave the order. "Send a warning. Tell them this is not their space." But the Varnak didn't answer. They fired first. The human warship reacts. Far above, the human warship had remained silent for days. Still, watching. But when the Varnak missiles flew, it woke. Red lights surged through its frame. Energy shields flashed. Cannons turned, not at the aliens who had once studied it, but at the Varnak. A voice echoed through the system. Hostile intent confirmed. Action permitted. Then the sky burned. Fire in orbit. The Varnak ships were strong, fast, built for invasion, but they weren't ready for human wrath. The warship moved like a shadow with claws. It dodged missiles, cut ships in half with light. Its AI spoke in cold tones. Tactic, end threat, method, memory replication. In minutes, half the Varnak fleet was gone. The rest turned to flee. Taya's mission. On the ground, Taya stared at the sky, streaked with fire and broken ships. She whispered, "It remembers how to fight." Geron turned to her. "The humans left us a weapon, Taya, and we just lit the fuse." But Taya shook her head. "No, it protected us, not because it wanted war, but because it hates it." Geron thought for a moment. "Then what does it want?" Tia answered quietly, "A promise." The message. As the last Varnak ship burned, the warship sent out a signal. It wasn't an attack. It was a message sent across nearby stars. In every known language, it spoke one line. "We remember what you forget." The message repeated once, then stopped. Hidden eyes. Far across the galaxy, others listened. Some were peaceful, others were not. They now knew what had returned. Not humans, but their legacy. Ending scene. A silent visitor. In a quiet, empty station on the edge of space, a small ship docked. No flags, no crew, but inside it, a figure stepped out. Tall, human, wearing black armor marked with a forgotten symbol. The warship received a signal. It answered with one word, "Welcome." The warship floated in silence, its weapons dimmed, its lights soft. The battle was over. But something far greater had just begun. A small ship had docked. No one knew where it came from. No name, no signal. Only one figure stepped out. Tall, silent, human. Taya's breath caught. From the command tower, Taya watched the feed. She had seen images of humans before, in the archive, in the visions, but never like this. Alive, real, walking into the heart of the ancient warship. Geron whispered, "Impossible." Taya replied, eyes wide, "No, I think they were always watching." Inside the warship, the doors opened for him. The halls lit up. No alarms, no weapons. The ship recognized him. It had waited a long time. The man placed his hand on the black pillar inside the archive. The ship spoke aloud, not in minds, but through its own voice. Commander recognized. Authority restored. A conversation through time. Tia was granted permission to board. She walked slowly through the halls, now glowing with calm blue light. The human was waiting in the archive room. He turned. His face was aged, but strong. Eyes deep, filled with centuries. He didn't raise a weapon. He raised a hand. Taya nodded, slowly. "You're real." He smiled. "We never left. We watched from the dark. We waited for the galaxy to grow." She asked, "Why come back now?" He looked at the pillar, then at her. "Because you asked the right question, and because others are coming." The truth of the legacy. The archive opened wider than ever before. Tia saw Earth, now quiet, green, protected. She saw colonies still alive, hidden, peaceful. She saw human minds, not just warriors, but artists, healers, builders. "We were never just war," he said. "We became silent, to give life a chance to grow without us." Taya nodded slowly. "And now we return, not to rule, but to guide. A new alliance." The human offered Tia a crystal. Inside it, the full archive. Knowledge of war, but also of peace. He said, "This is our gift, but it comes with a price." Tia asked, "What price?" He looked at her gently. "Responsibility. You must remember who we were, and never become it." Across the galaxy, the signal changed. Not a warning, not a threat, a call. To peace, to knowledge, to truth. Races from across space listened. Some would answer, some would fear, but none could ignore it.